Hello everyone, now I've had to raise my camera right up to try and get everything here in frame because my table in my two rooms not very big. So today we are talking all about the GT mats. So this particular one I am using is Royalty and it matches my Royalty card decks. Now in your card decks you will always see that there is 2 ladies and 2 men. The reason I have that is for our polyamory relationships as well as LGBTQ plus relationships. So what I always suggest is take out either the 2 men or the 2 ladies or a couple, because if you don't need them in a average everyday type relationship, pick out which ones that are relevant to your client or to yourself. So I'm taking out them. With a GT mat here, the easiest way to do these is it's a layering. And I can't stress enough is when you actually use the GT mats, you lay down your cards and you would go through and lay them all out. And that would give you your 50 cards with the 50 houses. Now people will say, what are the houses, Karen? Houses here are an influence. Sorry, no, the top layer of cards is the influence or the description of the house that it lands on. And the houses are really handy when you are looking at really big readings and relationships and so on. It's a great idea with snapshot readings. So when you lay them all out, I won't continue to lay them all out because that's a whole other lesson on reading, a full reading with these, which would take us hours. So the main thing is with your GT mats is learning and understanding that the top layer card is a description about your houses. And look, some people may read it the other way. They'll say, no, the house influences the top layer. It's whichever you choose and that you feel most comfortable with. So, for instance, if you had a client and they were looking at money matters, you could easily start in the top layer of the card of where the treasure chest comes out. Or if you had a card down here, you can start there in the house of the treasure chest. And then you would read from that. When reading GTs, the thing is you are reading all sorts of sequences and sentences and so on. Now I'm just going to go around the middle of this treasure chest. So when we read GTs, we are reading the lines of 3, we are reading the box of 9 that is around it, and with T cards we're also reading the directions. So for instance here, the arrow is facing this way. So it becomes these 3 and their houses is important to the questions around money and finances. So money and finances laying on the house of the moon there would tell me they must ensure that there is no emotional agreements or anything that is emotionally tied to money matters. They are looking at the peacock, and the peacock in money is often being about a lover of luxury or a little bit too much in vanity, and there it's sitting on the house of the mountain. So it would tell us there the more vanity or luxury they are looking at will cause an issue or a blockage. The book here with the money on this side would tell me important that they do look at all money matters, literally what's in writing, which can be right down to the basics of a budget or right down to documents they may need to sign. It's sitting on the house of the frog. Now the house of the frog is a lot of movement, which tells me they really do need to look hard and well at what they're doing with money, because that's a lot of movement in and around paperwork. They've even got here in the money in this line forward, they've got the mountain. Mountain again is the obstacles, or I always say a mountain's a detour. And that's sitting on the tent, which is actually a good thing because it tells me the detours or the blockages that they may have are very short term. And so you use your GT mat or your house's mats in that same structure with every topic that you are looking at. For instance, up here we've got a lady, and it may be a lady querate herself, and she would be sitting on the House of the Angels, actually beautiful, which tells me there's positive light, good spirits and good energy around this lady. We look at her directions. She's there looking at the sword, which is painful, and the sword is facing her. It's also on the House of the Balloon, which indicates there something painful, and balloon is often about stress or pressure. So there would tell me she does need to eliminate a lot of stress or a lot of pressure if she is to get through things that are difficult or painful. We have the man here sitting on the cross, and he is looking that direction. So man on the cross, and lots of people see a cross as Christianity, but it's a whole lot more. The cross is often what's this man's soul path or his soul journey, and he does need to probably look and listen to higher self a lot more. He's looking at the cross, which would tell me he is finally assessing his higher self. He's got the cross on the House of the Child, which means he can learn to grow a little more. And it's interesting because even sitting behind him here, he's got the child or the baby, which here again tells me this man has gone through some growth periods here, but he's still got a little long way to go. Here you would read the box of 9, which is in the booklets when you purchase the cards on how to read the box of 9 sequences. The lady here, when they are on a top row, she's only got these ones to read. But you can look at all the subject matters and the topics and read them in a line and a box and where they're facing and so on. So by adding a GT mat, you are actually doubling the information that you are getting out of your cards. Here we've got the heart on the mask. So again, if we were looking at this, you would again read the box of 9s. Where's it facing? What's in front of it? What's directly behind it? Tells us little bits and pieces. So that is how you would use it if you are laying out all your cards. Now I want to also show you another little tip, which is really, really handy. And I'll just get these packed away. Like I said, you have to excuse me seeing my camera stand up on a bunch of books because of the height was the issue that I have. And I have, poor Linus has to see in the camera above me because I'm too short, because I'm only 5 foot tall. I know, it's hilarious. Us tiny shorties tend to always get the really tall men. Don't ask me why. So, okay, now another way is you can actually grab your mat and say again that we are looking around the heart, for instance. You can actually fold it, because these are beautiful, where we can create our own box of 9. Let me just fold that in. Like I said, this is great stuff because it is all, I think that's my 9, is it? Close, not quite. So we can then work on the heart and just this box of 9. So, and this is really, really handy because yes, you can just fold up the sections, and again, we can do a reading 9 on top of 9. So again, we are getting a very big reading just out of 9 cards because we're reading 9 cards with 9 houses. There is also another trick you can do, which is card chaining with the GT. Now these here are a very big read once again. I hope I'm in screen there. So the other way is to do these is shuffle your cards and lay all your cards out, but face down. And I love cards that face down, and those who see me on live, I often have cards that are face down. I like the element of the reveal or the surprise. So we can lay all your cards down, and what we do is card chaining. Now I just get these all out so you can see what I'm talking about. Right, okay. We'll just go the first few rows, and hopefully we can get enough out of it to get the gist of. Right, now, say you have your client and they are looking at matters of the heart. Hang on, I better lay out the last two. Our heart is here, number 18. So let's just lay these out. And you don't have to lay them out in sequence like this. You can put them all over the place and it isn't going to matter. Okay. And I'm just putting them down here, and I've just realised I forgot to take the extra man, extra lady out. Oh, there's one. So they've got them somewhere in there. But yes, you do have to take out the extra man, extra lady. So the basis of card chaining is we're going to look at this person they're asking about love. So we're going to start in the house of the heart. You turn that over. So the first thing you see there would tell me this person's relationship with a balloon and the heart would tell me she's probably had a lot of very stressful relationships, or she may even be still under pressure in love at the moment. We then go to this balloon house, which is number 3. So we then go up here and we turn over number 3. The question mark there would tell me on top of the house of the balloon that she's finding a lot of stress in the relationships, but she can't quite work out what to do. The question in a relationship often comes up where they are uncertain of, is this the right relationship for me or is it not? And often the question mark is a small hit of confidence. So we then go to the house of the question mark, which is 44. Down here we've got the child. The child in a love relationship, if this lady's already talking about an existing partner, child here can tell me there's possibility of another party that is coming into her, because child and baby mean what is dear to the heart and the most precious of all feelings. It can indicate too though that she herself is growing and she may have outgrown that relationship. So we then go to house 11, up with the child. We've got the angel. That's beautiful because it tells me that spirit will guide her path regardless of whether she's feeling lack of confidence or not. Angels are always beautiful in a reading because it means the path is being laid out before her. She just has to listen. So the angel is number 2. So we go up here to number 2, and it's the lady herself. So she, with the angel, definitely has spirits guiding her path. Not a bad thing, but she also needs to, again, literally look at what is positive around her. So she is number 21. So we are down here at number 21, and we've got the house. So the house means home and family and comfort. And that may be this relationship. She may literally have a family. But those are the things you need to know about before you perform the reading. Because readings and symbolic reading, which is T, is different if they are looking for love or in a current relationship. So we're just saying the lady's in a current relationship. The house, they may actually live together. So we then go to position number 20. And we've got the book. And the book there again means what's in her hands. What is it that she needs to look at? Book is often the writing literally on the wall. So we would then go to the level card number book. But getting back to book on the house, it can actually mean there's a lot of documentation that she needs to take care of, which is get your house in order with family. So position 5, we go to the Mermaid. Mermaid is a lovely card when it's surrounded by positivity. The mermaid on the book there would tell me safe journeys throughout these things that she is having, because the book, I don't see it as a very negative card to say that mermaid is the devil in the blue dress. There would tell me she's got to, yes, look beyond what is just the surface value, because mermaid is always beautiful, but what's the agenda or the things going on behind that she cannot see. Book there would tell me literally she must get the house in order or the family home, because that's the only thing with a mermaid. She may get hoodwinked if she is not looking deep enough. So 25, we then go to the house of the mermaid, and we got the mountain. So yes, it does tell me there will be a few brick walls around her with this relationship and the home and the family. We then carry on all the way through, and the way it's going, I could end up just about opening up every card, but that's how we continue to do a chained reading. So, because we then go from mermaid to number 27 to 27, 42 to 42, then we go to 8, and there's a lot of cards that come out. Then we've got 47. I just want to show you with the chains to 50, back to 37. Then we've got 48, so you can see how big these are. Sometimes you may only draw 6 cards. 26, like I said, I'm not going to read all this. We'll be here for a month of Sundays, but I don't want to bore you silly. 38, which is the Tower. 24, which is the Mask. 43, which is the Tombstone. 22 is the Lion. Then we've got, see, this is where I have my second card, and that's 2 ladies. You can see I'm actually going to place that in there. 10 would have brought us back up to here to cherries. Sword, 35, 33. Then we've got the scales. So you can see how this is all unfolding. And then we go here to 18, brings us finally back to our heart. So coming from 18, when it brings back to where we started, all these cards that are not turned over tells us they are not relevant to that person's question. As you can see, there is a lot of cards that turn, so it is a very large reading, and it's a good one if you are doing online readings or big readings where you have client base, because it does open up a massive paragraph. And when I say a paragraph or write the story, it very much is keep the dotted lines and continue the storyline from where you start and right back to where you finish back here. So I hope that helps a little bit to understand how to use and some tricks on this GT mat, and they are all listed in the Etsy store. So thanks for listening, and when you look at each card deck, they do have options where you can purchase cards and the matching GT mats, or if you've already got the cards, they also is the option of just the GT mats on their own. So thanks for listening.